It is I, Donald Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where I have a few things to say about the left-wing lunatics at Msnbc firing my hero, the great Patrick J. Buchanan. Now, apparently, the left-wing lunatics at MSNBC do not like what Pat Buchanan wrote in his new book, The Suicide of a Superpower. Apparently, they had issues with the chapters in it. One, I believe, was called The Death of White America, or The End of White America, something to that effect, and something about the end of Christianity. They found that offensive. Now, they had suspended Patrick J. Buchanan for 4 months, and then they decided they were just going to give him the axe and get rid of him altogether. Why? Because Pat Buchanan dare say anything that these left-wing lunatics do not like. The frightening thing of it is, there's probably a lot of truth in what Patrick J. Buchanan had to say. Now think about it. I mean, what do we got? The death of white America. So what's going on? We have all these illegal aliens overrunning the country. Slowly but surely, this country, the white people in this country will become a minority, which for all you African Americans will put you third on the food chart. You might want to think about that. Well, do you see Obama doing anything about the border? Absolutely not. Who is it that's running around and wants to make all these illegal aliens citizens with one stroke of a brush? Well, that would be the damn Democrats. Okay, so is there any truth in what Buchanan had to say? You ask me, I think he probably has a point. And about the Christianity thing. So what do we see with this Christianity thing? Well, let's think about that for a minute. So what's one of the big topics of discussion these days? Well, that would be His Mightiness Obama is trampling on religious rights of the Catholics and telling them that they have to have health insurance and that health insurance has to have contraceptive options for their employees. Gee, that sounds like the government telling Christians, Catholics if you will, what they can and cannot do. Does Patrick J. Buchanan make any sense with that? Well, it seems like he does to me. But of course, you're not allowed to say that on MSNBC. But of course, the double standard is just absolutely appalling. Now remember, this is the same network that had a few of their reporters down here in the Florida primary that were up in the northern panhandle of Florida, which is close to the Alabama-Georgia border, and they were talking about the demographics and referred to that area as the cracker counties. That's right, cracker counties, but they don't seem to have any problem with their own reporters calling people a bunch of crackers. That's because they're calling that, using that racial slur to white people. And of course, that's fine with MSNBC if you want to do that. Nothing was ever done with those people, and nothing ever will be done with it. And there's other instances of these left-wing lunatics, practicing this double standard. Remember what they did to Juan Williams? That's right. The left-wing wackos at National Public Radio and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting didn't like what Juan Williams said about being on a jetliner dressed with somebody in Arab garb. Made him a little bit nervous. Well, they didn't care for that, so they sent him packing too. Apparently, these are the same people that will tell you about the Constitution and will preach the Constitution to you, let's say when it comes to things like, well, let's say Arizona, we got to stand up for constitutional rights for all the legal Hispanics in Arizona because Jan Brewer wants to do something because the federal government is not doing their job in enforcing immigration laws. But of course, we have to preach the Constitution for the rights of the legal Hispanics. But of course, that same constitutional rights don't seem to apply to Juan Williams or Pat Buchanan. Then, all of a sudden, well, we're not worried about that little thing called a Constitution. But it goes further than that. Remember on MSNBC, we had their worthless geek Obert Meinhofer sitting there with his little bag and tea bags in his little cup and his tea, and he's calling us all tea baggers. And all the commentators on MSNBC call us teabaggers because we're white and we don't like Obama, and so we're teabaggers. You know what teabaggers mean? Well, it's a video game term for testicles dangling bunch of teabaggers. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on who is applying the standards. Their hypocrisy is absolutely breathtaking. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, saying this to you now. Patrick J. Buchanan, you are still my hero. And when you ran for president, I voted for you. And if you run again, I'd probably vote for you for a second time. And you keep talking, baby, because people like me are listening. And one last thing, as far as these people saying that Pat Buchanan is an anti-Semite, and you're going to tell me this, when you people sit by and allow one of Obama's national security advisors to give an anti-Semitic joke at a conference in Washington, D.C., and sat silently while all that went on, don't give me any of your damn hypocritical crap, because it don't fly. And the American people are on to you damn left-wing wackos. And in November, you're going to hit the road as sure as my name is Cheesy Pizza. Until next time, I say this now. Over and out.